Hi, this is Rech, physical therapist at Rech Physio. Talking tonight a little bit about understanding the perspective of others. Hey, if you think this is good content, just give me a like or write a comment. It just helps the Facebook algorithm send this to more people. So, in context of physical therapy, um, all the time when I'm seeing patients, I'm trying to understand their perspective or see where they're coming from to help kind of understand them and to help get them to where they want to be and to reach their goals. Um, Sometimes understanding their perspective might be kind of tough, and I might never really understand, but I can try. I work a lot with older adults. I might have goals for them that I think they can achieve, but they might really have different things that they want to do. They might not be that motivated, and so we need to kind of work together and kind of find a middle ground there. Or maybe someone tore their ACL at some point, and maybe it's a year later, and their friend asked them to play a game of pickup basketball, and maybe that person who tore their ACL is a little hesitant, or maybe they say they need to wear their brace, or they just have a different perspective on sports and movement now that they've had an injury that someone who hasn't been injured might not really understand, or might think it's kind of silly that they need to wear a brace, or why are they being so cautious. Um, or kind of another example that's a little more extreme is a person after a stroke. A lot of times they have hemiparesis, which is where one side of the body, the arm and the leg, are weak and don't really work well. And so maybe a healthy person looking at a flight of stairs doesn't really think much of it. They just go up it, and it's no big deal. But a person with after a stroke has that weakness, it might be like climbing Mount Everest. And that perspective and just going through life for a person after a stroke is going to be vastly different than someone who's able-bodied. They might be looking at the same thing, which would be a flight of stairs, but feeling very different things and seeing the world very differently because of the reality of what their life is. And so kind of bringing that into the context of the current events that are going on in the country, trying to understand others' perspectives, I think, is a great thing to try to do now, and also probably something that's very hard. So the issue is one of race, and I think it can be hard as a white person to understand the perspectives of black people and kind of how they feel, and that's fine. We're probably never going to really understand what it feels to be a black person in the United States as a white person, but you can try to empathize and see where they're coming from and try to listen, and not try to just kind of push what our beliefs are. So, like, I guess the example I'm thinking of is like looking at the flag. For a white person, I've been privileged to live in the United States, and this is a great country for me and for many millions of people. And I can think of my grandfathers in general, our forefathers who fought for this country and done very great things. And so for me, looking at the flag, or for a white person in general, that might be, you feel those feelings of honor and gratitude and all that. But for a black person, they might look at it and see a vast history of injustice, racism, and violence. And that's true too. Like, those two visions of the country are not mutually exclusive. They are happening together. And so just trying to have understanding that you might not understand where they're coming from because you don't feel all the history that is different from your history. Both of them are real, but we're living them differently, and trying to listen and to see where they're coming from, I think is a good thing to try to do right now. I guess you can look at the same thing and see vastly different things. So like, if you're at the top of a skyscraper, if one person's at the top and one person's in the basement, you could both be looking at the same direction, but one person might be looking into a brick wall and another person is looking at a beautiful skyline sunset. It's trying to understand that perspectives and lived realities are different for different people, and that we can we can try to see that in other people and try to make the world a little better place. So thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions as far as movements, or if you're in pain, message me, see how I can help, and be kind to others. Thanks.